how do we get to a stage where Hamas is supported by academics, not just random mobs on the street, but actual academics? This is Bill Maher in conversation with Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane, where they talk about this. Have a watch and then we'll unpack it.
Why the kids are protesting for Hamas, a terrorist organization? It's because they're professors. Let me read some quotes from professors, and a couple of them are from California. I'd love to know what the leading politician in California says about this. This is, the Zionists have been exposed for the criminals and bloodthirsty animals they are. This is a gift from Allah to the world. He sends reminders to us, whether it was 9/11 or the Second Intifada, waking the Muslim spirit. Okay, that's somebody from the University of California, Irvine. Another one, California, Merced, talks about what Palestinians are doing, bravely paragliding over the fence to capture Israeli soldiers. I don't think it was soldiers. They were. What would your comment be to these California professors?
Find a different profession. It is, it's that, and it's also when you're in your 20s, even if you haven't read everything, even if you hadn't, I mean, I was this way, it's your instinct to root for whoever you think is the underdog. And in that region, yeah, Palestine is the underdog. With relation to the rest of the planet, the Jewish people are the underdogs. So it's like, it's hard to blame anybody, and it's impossible not to blame everybody.
Right. Well, first of all, Seth makes an important point here, and I just want to show you this map that he's referring to. That's Israel in the red. That's the Arab world that Israel is surrounded by. Okay. By the way, this doesn't even include the Muslim states as well, because there are some non-Arab Muslim states. But the thing I have to disagree with Seth on is where he says it's hard not to blame anybody. Okay, the first point to make is that, as you see from this map, the Palestinians, and I even question whether we should always be using this term, because the whole identity was created, and the leaders that created this were explicit about this, both past and present, that it's just a cynical ploy to get rid of Israel. That's what it was about. That's what it is about to this day. They are Arabs. They consider themselves part of the Arab world. The Grand Mufti, and who was the original spiritual leader of the Arabs in this area, in British Mandate Palestine, he dreamed of, basically southern Syria, the land becoming part of southern Syria. Arafat grew up in Egypt. All the Palestinian leaders, they said, look, we're just going to create this identity in order to get rid of Israel, to create this sort of fake national cause. But really, we want to be part of the Arab world. We want this to be part of the greater Arab territory. And so yes, Seth's right to say that people have bought into the myth of the Arabs, the Arabs who call themselves Palestinians being the underdog, and it's all resistance. But the second you understand that this is not about a legitimate grievance of nationalism, second you understand that this has always been the Jewish people's land from thousands of years ago until today, and they were always happy to live alongside Arabs, but it has been their land, and there's never been a state called Palestine. And the flag was created in the 60s as simply as a means to undermine Israel. And the proof of this is that if you were to ask any Palestinian leader or activist, you said, okay, I'll give you a choice here. Option one is free Palestine, river to the sea, free Palestine, but there's one little Jewish town that has sovereignty and control. Or another Arab state comes in and takes control of the land. What would you prefer? They'd choose the latter, which proves it's all phony. In 48, if the Arabs would have succeeded in destroying Israel, God forbid, then it just would have been divided up between Jordan and Syria and Lebanon and Egypt. And there wouldn't have been any complaints. And so the point is that, yes, people have fallen for it, fallen for the fake national claim in the West, but it's a lie. And we have to call it out and not excuse it. And no cause could justify there's nothing that you could say and say, well, it's just resistance when framing what Hamas did on October 7th. If Jewish people after the Holocaust went and raped German women and beheaded German babies and burned them, I guarantee you that people would not be saying, oh, that's just resistance. So the point is that the Seth is right. People root for the underdog, but people need to understand that the Palestinians are not actually underdogs. They may be seen as that way, but they're actually part of an Arab world, and they're working for this cynical plot to simply get rid of Israel. They're just a tool. The concept of it is just a tool. The concept of a Palestinian people and a Palestinian state. And so these are not, I have to keep stressing this. This is not my words. These are the words of Palestinian leaders. And perhaps we should do more on this, do more videos on this to provide evidence for this and to show how this is the case. But it's just so obvious. It's amazing how actually clear this all is if you just listen and hear what they have to say. And so we have to keep sharing the truth. We have to keep telling people what the actual reality is on the ground, who the real underdog is. And by the way, even if the Jewish people weren't the underdog, that doesn't define morality. That doesn't define who is right and who is wrong. Morality defines morality. And the truth is, the moral truth is that the land of Israel belongs to the people of Israel, given to them by the God of Israel. And that gives them the duty, obligation, and the right to do what they need to do to protect and defend themselves in this land. The Jewish people have always said, Israel's always said, we're happy to live alongside non-Jews in the land, but they have to be peaceful and cooperative, which is basic common sense that any state would employ.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.